Well, hello and welcome to Antique Needleworkers. My name is Shellie and this is my channel about cross stitch and all my crafty endeavors, and I'm so glad that you've joined me here today. If this is your first time here, thank you so much for stopping in. I hope that you find some inspiration today in your making and that you feel encouraged and you walk away with something that you didn't have before you got here. And if you are a returning subscriber, I thank you for returning time and time again. I appreciate it so much. Well, hello, my friends. It's about 2 weeks since I saw you last, and so I'm here to share with you what I've been doing. It's just chugging along. It's just summer, yard work, animals, stitching, all the things, just chugging along. I hope that you are having a wonderful end of summer. I can't believe, let's see, today is the 15th of the month. So it's August 15th. So I can't believe that we're halfway to September already. I mean, wow, it's just flying by. So anyway, so today I just thought I would stop in and I would join you and show you what I've been up to. So I do have some whips. I have a table full of fully finishes, which I'm really excited about. And I have some haul and some gifts that I received. So first thing, let's start with my gifts. Okay, so you know I have showed in prior videos my big giant tomato, and it was made by Beth Wiksen, the Kentucky needler. Well, I just happened to see Beth last week, and she made me, her and her husband made me some gifts. And so let's see, can you see right here? There's a little Scrabble board, and it says Needler on it. She made me that. Well, she made me Antique Needleworker. Isn't that cool? So you would have seen this in the picture for the video tile, so because I have that in there. So I thought that was so neat. So I've got to get Antique Needleworker up there with the needler there. So cool. She knows me so well. But her husband Wayne, if you don't know, he's the guy who makes he makes these, and Keepsakes keeps them. And my friend Sherry, she has an ONS, and it's called Creative Keeps Studio. And she carries a different size than they keep at Keepsakes. So, but Wayne made me a small one, this business card size. And then he made me this size. And then he made me an Ort container. Isn't that neat? It's got the little yogurt jar in it. And then I absolutely love this little one. It's got a little pin, a working clothespin. Can you see that? So it's really absolutely adorable. So they have me completely set up. And so if you like these things, my friend Beth, she is on Facebook, and like I said, it's Kentucky Needler. I will put a link below, and also she is a Facebook personal, that's Beth Wiksen, and she has things on there that she sells. And if you were interested in anything like that, because I do, when I show Beth's things, especially her tomatoes, and I know she's making pumpkins right now, you can message her on instant messenger on Facebook, and she'll get right back with you. You can scroll down through her feed and you'll see the things that she and Wayne make. And even if there's not something on there that's, let's say, for sale, if you just message her, she'll get back with you. But those were some special gifts that I received from my sweet friend Beth. So thanks, Beth. I appreciate you and Wayne so much thinking about me. So anyway, those were some special gifts. And so let's see, why don't we just get into some whips, because I've got a few whips, but I'm so excited to show you my finishes. So let's see. Okay, what have I been working on? So my friend Tina Egner on Instagram showed that she had a finish of Though He Seemeth Sleeping by Lucy Beam, and this is really one of my favorite charts. And I had started it a while back, and it was in the whip pile, and so I saw Tina's finish on it, and I was just so in love with it. I'm stitching it with the called for colors, and I'm stitching it on Northumberland Samplers linens. You can find them on Etsy. Let me pull my card. It's 40 count Northumberland Sampler House, the sampler linen, mousy brown. And you can see Northumberland Sampler House. You can see them on Instagram, and a lot of times you'll know that they have things up and going in their shop on Etsy by their Instagram posts. But I love their linens. And so this is mousy brown, and I had the framing in that you see. What I did was I did the second line. So I put the second line of markings and got that in. So pretty. I love all the colors. But again, every 2 letters you change colors. So if you don't like changing colors a lot, but I'll take this back out of the bag. I just really, really, really love this sampler. Isn't it beautiful? And like I said, it's by Lucy Beam. Though He Seemeth Sleeping. And I'll read what it says on there. It says, dark the night and wild the wave, Christ the boat is keeping. Trust in Him and have no fear, though He seemeth sleeping. Oh, it's so good. So good. So anyway, I worked on that, got a little bit in. That's 1 thread over 2 linen threads on 40 count. That way you get to see. Okay, that's one thing I've been working on. And then last week, I made a post very early last Friday morning, and many of you saw that, and some of you saw, many of you saw the post from Daylene Wilson's family on her Facebook and Instagram. Our sweet friend Daylene passed from this earth to heaven last Friday, Friday night, Saturday morning. And so I had just talked to her last Friday and messaging with her, and what a stoic, wonderful, precious soul Daylene was. She had the channel on YouTube, not Facebook, called So Grateful. And she always started her videos. I absolutely loved it. She would have a plate and she'd say, come on in. And she'd say, I have this in my cup and I have this. She had been diagnosed 10 years ago with a terminal cancer that they said she would not withstand possibly 6 weeks of life with. She wrote a book. I showed it to you all, and she had just finished it back in May, telling her story and what she had done. She outlived all of the critics, and she did it her way, which was a wonderful, wonderful thing. She had 10 wonderful years. But she had become sick, and she had told me that it was a pneumonia, and she had spent some time in the ICU unit, and then she spent some days in the regular floor, and then she came home, but she didn't allude, at least to me, that it was greater than that. I knew she was at home on oxygen. I hadn't heard from her for a little hot minute, and Sarah from Sarah's Stitchy Spot, she said, Shellie, she's really sick. And so I was like, I jumped right on it and I said, Daylene, what's going on? And that's when I found out she was sick, and it made total sense why I hadn't heard from her. But anyhow, then that led to last Friday, which there were many of us Flosstubers and Instagrammers and Facebookers that had spoken to her, that were checking on her, and but none of us knew that that would be her last day here. I will never ever delete the message in my thread from her, because the last thing she said was, I love you, my friend. And I could hear it with my ears, though I was reading it with my eyes. And that was a special gift. Who would have known that she would have only lived a few hours longer? But anyway, on Sunday, Nancy and Jenny, the Bougie Stitchers, or maybe it was Saturday. It was Saturday, I believe. They had decided that they wanted to do a stitching with Daylene stitch along, and Sambry Stitches, bless her heart, she just jumped right on it. And in her grief, she created a beautiful pattern to honor Daylene. You can head over to Sambry Stitches, to her socials, to her YouTube, to her sales outlet for her patterns. And I believe that pattern is free for everyone. But Nancy and Jenny had decided that we should all pull patterns that made us think of Daylene and do that stitch along. And so I did. Now I had kitted this pattern up already, and I want to tell you in advance, I have a viewer who had seen me post this, and it is from Emily Call, Kindness Begins With Me. And I had told my sweet viewer that I would indeed stitch this along. She wanted me to stitch it with her since she saw it in my roundup. Would I stitch it with her for her birthday, Sal? And indeed, I honor her. I honor her with this, and I will hashtag her and her birthday, Sal, with this. But it made me pick it up and made me do it, because when I see this, I want to tell you, if you knew anything about Daylene Wilson, and if you watched anything on her Instagram or her YouTube channel, she was a prolific gardener. And this reminds me of an arbor, and it's so funny because that's the first thing that Becca from Sambry Stitches, she put an arbor in the middle of her free pattern, and she put her dog Maisie down there. But when I saw this, not only did this remind me of her because of that, but Kindness Begins With Me. Daylene Wilson was the kindest person ever. I watched her from episode 1, and if you liked her or subscribed to her channel, she would say, send me your address, and she would send Christmas cards. If she knew anything that was going on in your life, you would get an instant message or something like that. She embodied the word kindness, and that's my word for the year. And so when I think about Daylene, she could be next to the word in the Webster's Dictionary. So I chose Kindness Begins With Me. One, because of the garden, the beautiful flowers. She was a flower in the garden of our lives, and she was as kind as can be. So this spoke to me, and I wanted to stitch this. I do honor you, my sweet friend, and your birthday, Sal, too. But I picked it up. I had done my own conversion to Belle Soie silks. Let me pull my I've got my fabric. My fabric, I believe, where did I put that? One moment, please. I must have left it across the room. It is from Michelle Rudy. I know that for sure. It was one of her, or no, it's not. No, it's not. It's on here. It's Seraphim Antique Lace 36 count. And then I created my own Belle Soie floss conversion. You needed 2 pinks, a light and a dark. So I chose Strawberry Shortcake as my darker pink and Carnation as my lighter pink. You needed 2 blues, so Chester Blue, which was named after my friend Ellen Chester, and it's one of my favorites. That's my darker blue, and then Babbling Brook is my lighter blue. And then you needed 3 greens, a dark, a medium, and a light. And so I chose Tortoiseshell as my dark, Attic Tea, which is one of my very favorite colors of silk to use for greenery. Attic Tea. I say this every time I say that. Oh, it just reminds me of a little tea party in an attic. I can just see 2 little girls. I love it. So as my light, I used Cabbage Patch. And then you needed a yellow, and I chose a golden yellow, which is Scarecrow. and then you needed a cream, and I chose vanilla pudding. So that is my conversion for Kindness Begins with Me from Emily Call. I think that those will suit it very, very well. I wanted to trim it down a little bit, and so I got a start on it, and this is my start. I wanted to go right to the top, so I got this corner in so I could begin to work on the arch. And I'm stitching this one thread over 2 linen threads. And again, I've got it on, it's down here. It's Seraphim Antique Lace 36 count. So I started that in honor of Daylene with my friends, the Bougie Stitchers and Sambry Stitches, and I know many, many, many of you that have seen it. And it's hashtag Stitching with Daylene, I believe is the hashtag. So I worked on that. Okay, I'm deciding where, and I'm throwing things again. Let me grab those glasses. Okay, then I had another new start, and oh goodness, I've got a caught thread here. Okay, it's from A Heart Remembers from Blackbird Designs, and I am stitching A Heart Remembers. This is an absolutely beautiful adaptation that that Alma Allen did. It was a antique sampler by M.L. Bell. The house wasn't there. Let me see if I can flip to the page. If there's no, I don't want to show, you know, there's so, oh, here it is. Yes, this is the original. You see, there's no house there. And it's very, very pink. But Alma created an absolutely beautiful border. I love the color. And then she added the house, the little heart, did this really pretty adaptation, added some birds. And so I am stitching this with a conversion that was done by Victoria Clayton Silks. You can hop on to Victoria Clayton Silks, hand-dyed fibers by Victoria Clayton, and she has a conversion already set up. All you have to do is click and add to cart, and I'm stitching this on 36 count doubloon, and I just got a little start of the border. And so I love doubloon. It's Picture This Plus, doubloon and wren are my 2 favorite colors from Picture This Plus. But so I love, love, love these beautiful colors that Alma is doing that in. And so I started that. I was just kind of jumping all around. I did a little bit of everything. Did a lot of finishing, but that was beautiful. I'd wanted to get that started. And then another thing I worked on, I started this 2 years ago. 2 years ago at StitchCon. It's from Souvenirs of Summer by Blackbird Designs. And I am doing Summer Jubilee. And I had a little bit done. There were several people a couple years ago that were doing it. And so I ran into the annex, and the fabric I bought, this, I can't remember. I think it's called Michelle. And the reason why I remember it is because my real name isn't Shellie, it's Michelle Lee. And so I thought, oh, wow, there's a Michelle. So I got some work done on it. And I'm using the called for DMCs that were called for. And I love how the flowers right there are eyelet stitches. There's a lot of modeling in this fabric. And I think that's why I chose to do the DMCs, so they'd be solid colors, because there was so much modeling. And so the fabric, if I remember correctly, it's 32 count. I really wish that I could tell you the make and model of it. I know it was Michelle, I think, but that's about it. Let me see if I wrote it down on my working copy or anything. I don't think I did. I didn't. I'm so sorry. But anyway, everything Blackbird, you could stitch every single thing in every book and still not have enough. I love them. And they're so fun. They do great summer stuff too. So I worked on that a little bit. So the border is to the halfway point. And so the next thing I'm going to work in is putting the urn right down there. So let me pull that up so you can see it again. I don't know that I held that up long enough. So I've got this flower in and part of this flower in, and these flowers with the eyelets, I'm going to put the urn in and then work my way over. So yes, Summer Jubilee by Blackbird Designs. DMC 1/2, no, that's 2/2, not 1/2, because I've got it on 32 count. And yes, it's 2/2, and I never stitch 2/2. I really don't like to, because I think that even on 32 or 28 count, that one thread looks really good and it looks antique-y, and your stitches always look fantastic. But this is 2/2, and yeah, forgot about that until I just mentioned that. So anyway, that's something else I worked on. And then the last thing I worked on is my sweet precious friend Carrie. You need to be praying for Carrie. Carrie she filmed last week, and the girl is sick as a dog. She hasn't been diagnosed with it, but I'm pretty sure she has COVID. She is sick, sick, sick. Pray for Carrie, my sweet friend. She is sick as a dog, but you know, she's been running and globe-trotting the world, and bless her heart, she's got to be worn out from all of her travels and even though she's having a good time, and she works so hard to put out those beautiful boxes. And she just bought a new house, you know, a second home in Clemson, and the last 2 months, she's been just so busy. So anyway, pray for Carrie. She's sick. Love you, Carrie. But anyway, this was in the July Keeper, and inside the July Keeper was our beautiful new offering, a reproduction that Carrie did, the Crown Family Sampler. I showed this to you last video, and it's on Tiger Lily Red from Victoria Clayton Silks. Beautiful, beautiful. It's like a pinky not a pinky purple. You could tell that this red's probably got a blue in the base, but it's really, really, really pretty. And so I am stitching this. See, I was mistaking my linnets a minute ago with the Seraphim. I'm stitching this on Glory Days linen that Farm Girl Dry Goods, Michelle Rudy, dyed, and it came with, I'm a Patreon, and so I'm at the level where I get linen, and it's 36 count, and so it's called Glory Days, and I got a start on it. And there's a hashtag, Carrie's crowning, what did we call, oh, my friend Kim and Jen Naska and I came up with it. Oh, I can't remember it off the top of my head. I'll have to insert it right here. But it's Carrie's crowning glory. I don't know. I'm the one who made it up. I'm sorry, girls. But anyway, I got to start on it. One thread over 2 linen threads on 36 count. Glory Days by Farm Girl Dry Goods. So it's very, very pretty. Love that. It's beautiful linen. Very nice to stitch with and on. And the silk, of course, I love Victoria Clayton silk. So that's some of the whips that I've been working on. I had another one in the hoop, and I took 2 stitches on it before I filmed, and I was like, yeah, that doesn't count. I'm not taking it out of the hoop and taking it over there. So anyway, but anyhow, so those are all my whips. So I do want to write myself a note to drop in name of hashtag. Sorry about that, girls. I came up with it. Like, there's only so much you can remember, you know. So anyway, okay, so on to the finishes. So back around Christmas time, Jen Naska was part of Stitchy Friends, and they're no longer filming together, but we all took part in their wee Santa Sal, and I stitched mine, And this is 32 count summer khaki. And I got my kit from Chantelle 141 Designs. And so I had my own linen I used, but I got the threads and the pattern and everything from Chantelle. And this is on Chantelle 141's bender board that I finished this on. Now look, I didn't paint the back. But anyway, this is going to go in the main house. The main house is very different. Well, there's tons of antiques. It's eclectic. There's antiques and there's modern stuff. You know, it really looks vintage, you know me. But I made myself a tree skirt a couple years ago with some really pretty Christmas fabric, but it has some pinks and greens with the red. And I thought this would be really cute. I have a black coffee table and I thought this would be cute sitting in there. So I finished this. You saw me finish this back before the end of the year, the stitching, but I told you I have the drawer across the room. Oh, I went to the framer and dropped off framing. I pulled stuff out of the drawer and started finishing it because I am gravely behind on that, but now I'm caught up. So I finished that. That's one of my fully finishes. Isn't he adorable? So that'll go in the main house. But then I showed you the 3 Santas that I did on perforated paper, inspired by my friend giving me some other ones. And I want to finish those some of the same ways as I did this. Now, I had 3 bender boards. Now, had I thought about this in advance, I would have probably put all 3 of these on bender boards. But I finished the wee Santa, and then I got the idea. But all of my finishing boards did come from Chantelle 141 Designs, and I'll put a link to her shop there. But I did this one. I got this board in a Christmas last year. She did a box, and you got a whole bunch of boards to do Christmas ornaments on. So I think I'm going to sit him on an easel. But I covered some sticky board with some gingham homespun. And then I just I took and cut a piece of fabric and then just pulled some of the threads out so it would, you know, zhuzh it up and make it, you know, scrappy and you know, yeah. Not fancy, but you know, kind of country. And then I covered that, and then I attached it with 2-sided tape and put a Rusty Bell on there. So these 3 Santas are I didn't bring the patterns over, but one of them is 1984, one of them is 1985, and one of them is 1986. I showed you the patterns last time. So he is on 14 count vintage perforated paper with all the called for colors. So he's adorable, isn't he? And then his counterparts. And the board, I took some antiquing wax. All the edges were already like this. I just took some antiquing wax and rubbed it and then rubbed it off so that it just didn't look like raw wood. It gave it a small, slight finish. But I did this one on a bender board, and look, he can sit up on the shelf, you know, at Christmas time, like I said last time. So that's where I got the idea for that. And on these bender boards, I just took and tied a bow. It's not even a bow. I tied it in a knot. I cut it to the length I liked. I tied a second knot and sent it through the bell, and then took threads out and made it look scrappy, you know. So, and then just put some homespun on a sticky board, and then I A-leansed this sticky boards onto the bender board, and then 2-sided taped the Santa onto the fabric covered board. See, you can finish your own stuff. Aren't these adorable? The Santas are coming. And then I finished this one. So I think they turned out awesome. And these definitely will go in mill decor. So you see the difference? This one, you know, I've got vintage and antiques in the other house, but out here is tremendously rustic. So he'll go in the main house, but these guys will stay out here in the mill. Aren't they adorable? I love them. So, oh, you talk about some easy finishing. I just measured out my, my sticky board. I put a little piece of batting on it. I wrapped the fabric around and trimmed it and mitered it in, stuck it down, and then I just used some two-sided tape and hooked those, laid the Santa on there and put a book on him. So yeah, so those are all my finishes. All right, and I have one more, and I am so excited to share it with you because, a couple months back, if you're not following Inspired by Michelle Ray, you kind of need to. She's amazing, amazing. Amazing. She is just amazing. Well, she had showed where she took a sampler and made a wall pocket to put her hoops in. And I screenshotted it. And then I've also gone back to her Instagram about 40 times. I did not have a pattern for this. I figured it out myself. And I don't know if she had a pattern for it, but I had to have one of those pockets, and of course anything with a hoop crammed in it. And I was like, oh, you're speaking my language, Michelle. And so you will have seen I had finished at the end of last year Jeanette Douglas's she has the Sew With Me series, and I had done the 4 together. Well, this is what I did with them. Isn't this the prettiest? So I created this pocket with Jeanette's beautiful designs, and I put a big old hoop in it. And so the hardest part of figuring this out, it was like, okay, so I did fusible batting and went between 2 pieces of this beautiful Adita Sitar laundry basket quilts fabric. And then this is some more of Adita's fabric right here. Then I did fusible batting between my stitched piece and this, and it's fully all the way down inside. You can see. Oh, let's see. And so, and then I brought it over. I left this higher. So, and then I left the fabric higher, and I brought it over, flipped it over and flipped it over, and then sewed it down. And then I used, and then I bound it like a quilt. You can see. And then I just tacked down this was the hardest part. So, okay, so I can't put corners on it like you would. I guess I could have, but she had hers hanging with silk ribbon like this. And so, but I put 2 hoops and I ran the silk ribbon through it, but it caused it to pucker. So I ended up taking the ribbon off like 6 times. But what I did was I used a very matching thread. You cannot even see it right here and right here. You can't even see that. But I laid it down, and then I used the matching thread, and I just sewed it like this and sewed it like that. And then it doesn't pucker when it hangs now. But I thought this idea made Jeanette's beautiful patterns just sing. And this fabric, I love it so much. If you look right here, this blue and these colors, they're all in this fabric. And so, yeah, and this is on 40 count mallow. This is the fabric that I wasn't friends with, that I just couldn't stand. And so I love the designs. I will never stitch on mallow again. Are you hearing me? Magnifiers, cheaters, all the above. It doesn't matter. There's a flecking in this. And this is the one piece in my life that I love this piece, and I wanted it done so bad. I love this series by Jeanette Douglas. But this fabric, I hate it. I told you along the way that, well, we weren't friends. We were just acquaintances. And I told you that, you know, that we were getting along a little better. Those are all the truth. But the real truth of the matter is I just don't like the fabric. It's beautiful to look at. It's horrible to stitch on. So just note to you, my friends, a few other people have experienced the same thing as me. But anyway, this is my very favorite finish that I've done in a very long time, because it includes my stitching that I love so much, by a designer I love so much, that holds one of my favorite things in the world, which is antique hoops. So I love this so much. It's one of my favorite things. And thank you, Michelle Ray. You so inspired me. So anyway, I love that, don't you? Okay, so I only have one other little thing that I've been working on, and I don't often show, well, I never show the things, you know, that I lead a baby ministry. We call it baby group, but it's called For the Babies and Beyond. And there's about 85 people who are in the ministry and help out. And we make items and we fill local NICUs and crisis pregnancy centers and several government organized court-ordered parenting things. And really, you know, where people are down and out in their luck and things like that. And we make items for babies, and we make them items sometimes for their siblings. Well, one of the things that we like to do is we like to make handmade little stuffies that go, and we take them to the crisis pregnancy centers, because when they're there with their mamas and even the little babies and stuff like that, they have something to hand to them. And so one of the ladies in baby group made some of these and showed us this pattern. It's called Mabel's Chicken, and it was made with a super, super chunky yarn. And this pattern can be found at, I can read the first part. Hold on just one second. Let's see. It's Oak and Marlow, MARLOW on Etsy. And so she made these in different sizes, and the way she made them different sizes was she changed the size hook, or she changed the thickness of the thickness of the yarn. And so I fell in love with it. So I was one of the ones who bought it. Well, I used just regular old worsted weight yarn and it turned out tiny. Is this not the cutest? So when you got a little 2-year-old or something sitting in their lap at the crisis pregnancy center, is that the cutest? Isn't that the cutest? We've taken baskets to them, and there's a lady who in the baby group who she is a nurse and works third shift, and so Bridget, with a needle and thread, she takes tiny little scraps about this big, and she makes these tiny Scotty dogs, and she'll just stitch the Scotty dogs in their raw edge, and she does it in the night shift while she's sitting at the nurse's station, and she fills them. And so those especially, we have bowls that we've taken to the crisis pregnancy centers, and they put those in there, and this I can foresee being in there too. But is she not the cutest little thing you ever saw? And the yarn I used was from Red Heart, and it was one of their Fair Isle ones, and I picked it because it just had all the speckled chicken look. So I thought that was really cute. I was running that through to see, did I like it? You know, how quickly could I do that? And is that something I could sit and bang out a couple on the couch at night and have to throw in with the donations? So anyway, she's cute. That's Mabel Chicken by Oak and Marlow on Etsy. So that's the only other thing that I made outside of my stitching and my finishing, but I thought that was so cute, and I wanted to share that with you. So, okay, I did do some shopping. So you want to see my shopping? Okay. So, well, first off, I got this was a wreck. It actually came looking like this, my Floss Fix, which is the classic Colorworks threads that club from Fat Quarter Shop. And so the August Club, they're on the H's. And so I got Hayride, Hazelnut, Heatherly, Hickory Sticks, Hollyberry, and Honeycomb. And so that was one of my clubs that came. Oh, and I did want to say, yes, I am doing secret stitching, and that's one of the things that I've been doing that you haven't seen, but I'm going to show you really soon, very soon. So I'm still doing some of that too. So I failed to say that during my whips, but I can't show you. So anyway. Okay, so for the month of August, it is the All Ohio Shop Hop. And so anyway, the shop hop for Ohio it goes on from, let's see, when does it, August? It's August and September 2024, but there's specific dates. But anyway, there's a map in here that shows you all the places in Ohio. Well, there's the Southeast region. There's sections in it, and it tells you the names and how to get to them. And then some of them take out ads. There's, hold on, I think there's 5 quilts in here. There's full patterns. I love this. This is called Stars Across Ohio. And of course, the Ohio Star is our state. That's, you know, it's the Ohio Star. So, but anyway, I'm trying to find in here. They had a whole big map. But anyway, there's, let's see. You know, you'd think I'd be prepared. Okay, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 6 patterns, full quilt patterns. One's a runner, and others are quilts. They had fabric that was printed specifically for the shop hop, and shops all over Ohio have quilt blocks, and you can go to the shops and shop hop, and you can, here's your passport, and you put your stamps in here. I went the other day, my neighbor Julie, I taught her to quilt, and I love it because she's like, okay, it's the shop hop, I got your book, you know, we're gonna go shop hop. And so we have dog-eared our books, and we started already. You know, there's only a few in our area that we're gonna hit, but we're actually going to focus on the southeastern portion of Ohio, and there are 4 shops that we're gonna go to, and they're between Oak Hill, Belpre, Lancaster, and Canal, Winchester, Ohio. And so this year, we're gonna hit these, and there are a couple in our local area. The one that we hit is really just a couple miles from us. And so, but we're not gonna hit the whole state. There's just no way. Neither one of us have time to do that, but we are participating. And so we went to the quilt cabin, and this was the quilt cabin's quilt block. And you can add these in a quilt that you do for that, or whatever you choose to. This is another one that they had there. And then there's a shop hop block that all of them, so these are specific to the shops. And this is specific to the entire event. And so I love this. I will not buy any more fabric, said no one ever. Amen. Thank you, sister. So I really love, let me show you. I just showed you a minute ago. Let me go back here. I bought a quilt kit for one of the quilts, but I do want to do this one as well. But I'm going to hopefully buy this. I'm either going to kit this one up, the Stars Across Ohio. It's got Ohio stars, and it makes it look like a Irish chain as well. And so I'm going to buy that at another shop. But I bought my base fabrics, and I bought a kit for several panels for the Ohio country quilt kit is what I bought. Let me take this out. And this was made, they made it so easy at the quilt cabin. They just had it right there. This is one of the quilts, and it's got all these panels in it, but I love this material right here, and I'm gonna show it to you up close and personal. But this fabric, the Buckeye, the carnation, the little flowers. So that's definitely Ohio fabric. That's in the framing of that quilt. And then this is not in that quilt, but I loved this. So I think I bought 4 yards of this. I bought that. And it can be a backer, but I think I want to do something else. But I bought a couple of these panels. One of the panels came in my quilt kit, but I bought 2 more of these, and I'll tell you why. This is the panels that you can cut up for the quilt that's in the kit. But what you see is, do you see the center there where it says Ohio and it has the quilt blocks? That is not, that section there is not in that quilt. So the reason why that's important is I'm going to trim that out, and I'm going to back it and, well, I'm going to quilt it, but I'm going to put a backing behind it. But I want to hang it over the window on the other side of the studio where it's got the quilt squares and the word Ohio on it. And so I bought one to chop up just to get to the center, one as an extra for if there's something I want to do as a gift or something later on. And then they had another panel. There was actually 2 more panels, but I got this panel just in case for something else, you know. So, and it's got the word Ohio, and it's got the baseballs and football and covered bridges and the rural scenes and the birds. So just, you know, I may never see this fabric again, and so I wanted to make sure I got some of that. So I did that. I went to the quilt cabin with my neighbor Julie, and we got that. We both bought that kit, and we bought some extra fabric. She bought another one of the fabrics that I did not, or no, I bought a fabric she didn't buy, and that was the with the buckeyes and the carnations. And then while we were there as well, I bought a quilt kit. It was, you know, you walk in, it's just like cross stitch. Wow, you see it on the wall, and there it is, and you're like, yes, please. So this is done in 30s reproductions, and this quilt is called Perkiomen Valley Twist. I'm going to show it to you right here. That way you can see that. Perkiomen Valley Twist, Jimmy Quilt Designs, and then I bought it all kitted up with the 1930s fabrics. And so Julie saw that, and she's like, oh, I'm buying that too. So we bought the same things. I just bought a little extra of the Ohio fabric. So I got that. And then there is a wonderful stitcher named Bettina, and she is in my Antique Needleworkers Circle of Friends, and she's on many different groups as well. And she has been showing for quite some time a tablecloth that she is cross-stitching, and it has blue and white dishes on it, and I love it. In the main house and the mill house, we have antique blue willowware dishes, and we eat off them every day. Hey, listen, I'm going around once, I'm eating on the dishes, and I absolutely love that tablecloth. Now, would I stitch that tablecloth and put it on the table and eat on it? Absolutely not. But she got it at Lebanon Road in France, and I looked it up because I thought, well, maybe I'll just cut up part of the, you know, the tablecloth and cut a section and blah, blah, blah. No, look. They had this as a wall hanging, and then there's an extra with this down here. But so I'm gonna stitch this. It's a full kit. I'll put a link to their store. I've showed these things from Lebanon, but I don't speak French. Lebanon is, that's how you say it. That's how it looks. But anyway, I got this kit. I ordered it in, and let me just tell you, you order online from them, and it comes super quick. You'd never know that it was coming from France, but it comes with everything, including a needle that you need and your linen. And so I just love this. And Bettina, thank you so much for your inspiration. I cannot wait to stitch that because I think it's going to look fantastic in my kitchen. And so, all right, so then I got 2 stitch alongs. If you are not familiar with the Homespun Needlework and Samplers group on Facebook, I'll put a link below. Julie Kursavi puts together some of the most wonderful exclusives, and I actually have 2 of them here to show you, and one was from the Scarlet House. Now, I don't believe that you can get this anymore. I'm not 100% sure, but you could scroll through the the Facebook group or Ask Julie in the group. But this was Sarah A. Sanderson, 1872 by the Scarlet House. And I got mine with 40 count Valley Forge from Needle and Flax. And then I got the called for Classic Color Works and Weeks Dye Works. And as well, this little needle box, magnetic needle box, came with it. Very, very nice. And this sweet little card, isn't that sweet? The shop that put this together really did a great job. And you can look that up. You cannot call the shops and buy these. You have to go through and get the link on Homespun Needlework and Sampler group on Facebook. It is going to be in the description box. Again, this is Sarah A. Sanderson, 1872 by the Scarlet House. Isn't she pretty? Those stags and that bird. I'm a sucker for a bird any day of the week. Okay, so that was one that I got. And then the newest one that I got, I was so excited about it because, as I said just a moment ago, I love Jeanette Douglas. I love the Scarlet House too. I wouldn't pass up a Stacey Nash or a Scarlet House to save my life, but I wouldn't pass up a Jeanette Douglas either. And this particular one, I've got it in the box still. This particular one is going to end this coming Sunday. So today is Thursday, the 15th of August. You need to run, not walk, if you want this. And get on the group and click the link and get over and get yourself one of these. But this is Simple Gifts Spool by Jeanette Douglas. This is the piece in full. But you get this, it's a scissor spool. You get your spool and you get all of your finishing items. Well, you get your threads. You get, what's this here? Okay, so you get your backing fabric, your soft flex, you get applique pins, your finishing pack, and then the pattern from Jeanette Douglas. Let's just unpack everything out of here and I'll show it to you. But I'm serious, this Jeanette Douglas piece is just precious. So you get a thread card with all your threads listed. I love that. And then you, this Pink Lemonade Creations made these scissor, the little pools, and it's a little scissor, and then it looks like a needle minder. It's a needle minder and a scissor fob. Then you've got your threads, your interfacing and your finishing fabric. And then your fabric, and this is Dolly Madison, 36 count by Needle and Flax. And then you got your pattern and your spool. But this one, please, you need to get on to Homespun Needlework and Samplers if you'd love. Oh, isn't it pretty? I love the border on this. And as I said, this is what it looks like unrolled. So, so pretty. If you're a Jeanette Douglas fan, get on Homespun Needlework and get going on that link and get this, because as I said, it's the 15th. It's ending Sunday is your last day to order this. So I hope that you'll do that because it is beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Well, I only have a few more things. I had ordered, last time I showed you, and I should have brought them up, darn it, my socks that I was knitting, and they had the Mosaic color work on them. I got the one sock, I'm down to the toe, and so I've got one sock almost all the way done, but I love the Mosaic knitting. Mosaic knitting looks, it's color work, but you do 2 rows of one color and you come back and do 2 rows and it's called slip stitch knitting. And so where if you've had trouble like carrying your threads and things like that, not with Mosaic knitting. It's so, so easy and it's beautiful. So I ordered a couple of books. This one's for shawls. I love shawls. You can throw it around it, and it's funny, that little shawl, I like them around my neck, really, you know, and they really will keep you warm. But these are just really neat and you can, there's lots of colors. It's not always just 2 colors, but like this one, the circles, here's a blanket. I'm trying not to show you that page. So there's a blanket wrap. It's a blanket wrap. Isn't that pretty? It's all slip stitches. So, you know, you're not carrying floats and things like that. This is from the cover. Isn't that pretty? So I got Mosaic Shawls, Enchanted Patterns for Distinct Elegance. I think I got this on Amazon. If I can find a link, I'll throw it up there for you in the description box. And then I also bought this because I want to do this sweater. It's Mosaic Medley, and this is a magazine by Knit Picks. I think you can get this on Amazon. I'll put a link if there is. But anyway, oh, I want to do that sweater. Wouldn't that be pretty in gray with like an aqua blue? Well, because I love blue. It's my favorite color, but this is so pretty too. But here are some of the other projects that are in here. Look at how pretty this is. Look at all that. It's intricate work, and all it is following a graph, and you're slipping stitches. Here's another sweater that's in there. Isn't that pretty? Very, very pretty. So if you've never tried mosaic knitting, this is Mosaic Medley Slip Stitch Colorwork Collection by Knit Picks. If you've never tried it, try a little sock. You know, what else you could do is a washcloth. Just, there's a book, I don't have it, but there's a book of slip stitch, like motif patterns. And so like you could do a washcloth and practice doing those, and it's just really a lot of fun. Very, very pretty. And I can do Fair Isle, I can do color work and carry threads and all that, but boy, the slip stitch knitting is just, it's brilliant. So anyway, I got those, and then I got 3 more things, and they are, sorry, I didn't mean to get out of the screen. They are all vintage finds, and I got them all off of Etsy. I found this shaker box, but look at the blueberries. Isn't that so pretty? I think I got it upside down there. It looks like the leaves and the daisies and the blueberries. It's hand painted. I think I paid $8 for that. You couldn't bought the paint to paint that top. So, but I'm a sucker for, oh, I love shaker boxes. And so I love that. So I bought that. And then I found this because, you know, I am obsessed with tomatoes. Is that not the cutest? All it needs is a pair of scissors to plunk right in here and hang on the wall. I wish I could sit it over with my, I've overrun my treadle machine. Every time I want to use my treadle machine, I have to remove all of my tomato stuff off of it. But I thought this was really cute. So I got that. And then, I love this. Look at this. It's ginormous, but it's like a little sewing station. But I thought at first this was a tomato, but it's just it looks tomato-ish, doesn't it? And then it's got a little dish down there. So I found all of these on Etsy. And when I look for stuff like this, I just put antique sewing notions, antique tomatoes. You know, I look for stuff like that, and that's how I do that. But so anyway, that wraps up everything. That is, let's see how quickly, 58 minutes I'm at. Wow, that's a world record. But yes, those are all my whips, my fully finishes. That is what I've been shopping for, where I've gone. And yeah, so I've got, like I said, I've got some secret stitching. I'm going to show you that soon. And I'm prepping. I'm going to be leaving in September for another rod run. I'm excited about that. I'm excited to go with my kids and my family. Last time we went was the husband, you remember the story, he had heart surgery, got out of the hospital and said, we're not canceling canceling that trip. And so we plunked him in the passenger seat and took him anyway. So it will be fun to go to our happy place in September and things just be normal. And then I'm going to Hobby House in October. So yeah, so anyway, so those are some future plans, and yeah, those are the things I'm doing. I have a couple new starts that I really want to do. I did the 2 new starts this time, but there's a few new starts, especially the Jeanette Douglas piece that I want to get started here that you'll see on the next time I video. But so that's what I've been up to. And so I hope that you are well. I hope that you found some inspiration. And but for now, I think that covers it all. And I thank you so much for coming and joining me, my friends, and visiting with me here. I know that I'm on this side of the camera and you're not here, but I always feel like I'm just sitting with you and visiting, and I enjoy it so much. But for today, I'm all done. So until we meet again, I wish you many happy stitches. Bye-bye now, my friends.